Court, what are the challenges that this offense is facing in getting going early? You see what you do late.
Yeah.
But what are the challenges as you see it to get off to a little bit better starts at this point?
I think we all kind of have our hand in the pot. There is no like one set thing I can say, all right, this is what it is. I think that there's a collection of things that we just each game is something different. It may be lack of operation in a sense of like myself, like not making a catch on the second down to give us a chance to have a third and short. Like that's something that could have, jump started, our offense moving forward in that first drive. Penalties have obviously been something that we've had issues with. I wouldn't necessarily say off the top of my head that's been like a first drive type of situation, but just like we don't consistently put a couple good play after good play after good play together to sustain a drive to go down and score points early on in the game. And it's one of those things we have been working towards figuring out what that issue is. I don't think it's a lack of effort. I don't think it's a lack of focus. I don't think it's a lack of care that comes from the offense. I just think that it's an execution thing and executing in the specific time that things need to be executed. And for some reason, we haven't been able to get that going in the beginning parts of the game. And we're working very diligently to get that fixed because we see that we're obviously capable of scoring points. It doesn't need to be in a lump sum at the very end of the game.
Court, when it comes to the improvements you guys have made in these one-score games, is it just a matter of having experience playing in these games, or is there something tangibly different?
Yeah, I think that the experience definitely helps. I think that experience is something that, no matter what field you work in, it's definitely something that's very beneficial because the more times that you see it, the more times you give yourself confidence that you can overcome it. So I do think that us being in those situations over the course of the season so far has given us more confidence that, when we could get put in those situations that we can come out victorious on the other end of that. You would like not to be in those situations. However, I don't know what the percent is, but there's a certain percentage, and it's a very high percent of most games come down to one-score games in the NFL. So you're going to be in those situations, and I think the more times that you get put in those situations, the more times you understand how to overcome them. You can only simulate, the 2-minute drives in practice, but when the real bullets are flying, how well can your team go out there and operate? And I think that us having the chances to get those live reps in games and then seeing the positive outcome at the end is giving us more confidence to be able to have success down the road.
Court, with how crazy this game was, when did you realize we have a chance and then we're actually going to win this thing?
I'm one of those guys that, the fight isn't over until they ring that last bell. And, I feel like I've seen all different types of different scenarios, but Sunday was something that I hadn't experienced in a sense of actually being down, scoring the points that needed to be scored, and actually winning the game. I've seen the scoring the points but not winning the game. Something may happen, whatever it may be, but to be able to see us come out victorious was nice. To answer your question, my fault. I would say, I don't know, we scored that first touchdown at the beginning of the fourth. It was like, there's life. Like we knew that we knew that what we were capable of. We got down there early in the game, and we wound up not getting points, which was disheartening. But we knew that we were moving the ball. There were small things here and there that weren't allowing us to be able to put the ball in the end zone or even get into field goal range. So we knew that we were capable of scoring points. It was just a matter of doing it. And so getting that first touchdown, it was confidence. You can see that it was a little lively. It was still a very, the deficit seemed insurmountable, but we knew that if we just kept believing, kept hitting the tree in the same spot, kept having belief and faith in each other, and doing one play at a time. We felt like we were going to be capable of coming back, and then, boom, you watch it slowly just, like I said, just hitting the tree in the same spot, and then eventually you start to see, like, all right, I'm making a dent in this tree. And you keep hitting in the same spot, and then eventually that booger starts to fall. So it's just, I feel like I was telling my boys, after the game, it's almost, you can put that into a life perspective. It's one day at a time, one play at a time. Hitting the tree in the same spot, waking up day in and day out with the same consistent mindset that, this is gonna be the day, this is gonna be the day, this is gonna be the day. Same thing with the play. This is gonna be the play that's gonna get us into position to go score points. And if you have that mindset, then the outcome is gonna be something that you are looking for.
Same idea. Coach Payton talked about after an emotional victory like that, the extra importance of hitting that reset.
Yeah.
Well, you've done this for a while, over the course of this long 17-game season. Is it tougher to keep your body right or your mindset right? What's the bigger challenge over the several months there?
I think it's a combination of both. I think that they both weigh their own, depending on the situation, depending on where you are in your season. I think that they both have a weight that is important. Obviously, you look around the league and there's a lot of different teams going through, injuries left and right. This is that point in the season where, you start to see some guys that it's harder for them to be able to maintain their bodies, and so I would say that's a huge part. But on the flip side of that, you have some teams that are in a situation where they aren't winning a lot of games, or they may be facing a couple game losing streak, and if you don't have the right leadership, you don't have the right guys in your locker room to be able to say, hey, it was a couple tough weeks. We got a lot of games ahead of us. Let's flip the script. Let's go to work, and let's turn this around. If you don't have the guys that can do that, then that's where the mental part of everything comes into it. And same thing when it comes to the winning side of it. If you got a team that's winning games and things are looking good, if you don't have the right leadership and the right guys to be able to say, hey, look, yeah, we won a couple games, but we're not there yet. There's more work to be done, and we can't get comfortable. If you don't have the right guys and the right locker room atmosphere to be able to not allow guys to get comfortable, then you get full. It's just like a lion that's just got done eating. They're gonna go take a nap, and you don't want to be that lion that is eating and they over there under the trees, kicking it, minding their business. We still hunting. You got to have that mindset, and I think that that's something this team still has. This team has that hunger mindset. Like we've sat in the shadows long enough of almost there. It's like, hey, we're putting together some good games, but let's not forget where we were and where we're trying to get to. You got to keep that same mindset of being hungry.
So there's no fat lions in there?
Say it again?
There's no fat lions in there?
No, boy's starving.
Playing with Javonte for a long time, just
Correct.
And having the success that he's had this year. What's that like for you as a former team?
Man, it's I don't want to get mad at him. My dog Pookie, man, that's my dog, man. He always had, man. His energy was so one of those special energies, man. I enjoyed being able to share the locker room with him and enjoy watching him play the game that he played, the way that he played, and then obviously him facing the injury that he had, watching him come back from that, and still have the drive and desire to be, the best in his mind and the best in the abilities that he's been blessed with, and to watch him go out and have the success he's having it's really inspiring. I enjoy watching all the guys I've shared a locker room with go out and have success on their respective teams, and Javonte's one of those guys that I'm really happy for him. They're allowing him to show his talents the best that he possibly can, and it's cool to see him be back in that space of where he was his rookie year and where he was coming out of college, and then being able to go and just fully let his wings fly. And the dude is second in the league right now in rushing or something like that. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that if you know him and you know the dedication, the work ethic that he has, and the love that he has for this game, you'll understand why he's second in the league in rushing right now.